Okay folks, so today I'm going to do a nice evening sunset. It's going to be a fast one today as well. Again, for anybody who just wants to put something on a canvas, just do it quickly. That's all. There's no need to spend 3 and 4 hours and then 8 and 10 and 100 hours on a canvas. If you don't want to, there's no harm or shame in any of it. Anyway, so I'm going to just take the weight off the canvas here a little bit. Just warm it up a touch. Okay, so actually I'll get the darks in first. I'll do that. I'll start with the darks. Okay. Oh, but nice and thin. A nice and thin mixture. Just rolling this on. Look at the colours that creates. Oh, I need to change my glasses. I knew something was wrong. I knew something was up. Right. There we go. Now let's see here if we can get a nice little bit of a water feature going on here, just up here. Boopity bump, boopity boom. Have that reflecting down in here. Take that over to there, and then bring that over to here. And well, have a wee look at that whenever the time comes. Okay. So, rising up along here-ish. Right, now there I have removed the colour from the canvas, a good bit of it anyway, at least halfway down it here. Okay. Now, let me just think on my feet here, folks. So, I'll get a different brush. This one's a bit scraggledy, a bit too loose. So I'll just get a distant hedgerow going, nice and bluish one. And I'm going to go for a sunset today. It's a distant sunset. Or sorry, not a distant sunset. A sunset. Right, this is going to be a purplish, a late sunset is what I was trying to say. Okay, and there's a start of a distant hedgerow there. Okay, that's nice now. So back to the other brush. And you just work this in around here. Bring this down a wee bit. I'm just bringing the plane of this hedgerow this tree down here. So I'm just going to create the darker areas now, where I believe that it needs to be. Nice and rough at the minute, folks. Nice and rough. So let's work on some of this sky here. Let's see. Now I want a nice late sunset, a nice orangey, greenish sky with a violet distance here, violet distant cloud. Nice and brightish cloud at the base, but violet. Let's see. I think this might be a bit too grey. Now I'm using some liquid here. Is that too grey? I don't know, not yet. A little bit of blue in it there, just to knock it back. Lighten it a touch. Alright, now. Don't really want to go in too far with here. I'm just creating a bit of a distant cloud here. So Let's folks, want a stiffish brush to work up in here. This is a short flat from Rosemary & Co. It's a 1/2 inch, series 236. Now I'm just thinking on my feet here. Let me get a nice orange in here to begin with. Some cadmium red, cadmium yellow, some spirits, white spirit to bring it down. There we go. Now, lighten out a touch. Okay. Maybe lighten it a touch more. I'll put a bit of liquid in it because I'm adding white to it. It's the way I like to work. I prefer to work it that way. Now it's mixing with the violet that's down, so that's going to become a green. Just a wee second. That's going to become a green. So I'm cognizant of that, and I'm trying to not let it happen just yet, but it will happen. I'm certainly up in here. I want a nice greenish tint up in here, so I do. Okay. Alright. So I'm going to create a lamey green color. Alright. And I'm just going to knock the color of it back a bit with what's on the palette there. Plenty of plenty of liquid on it. So I'm just going to mess about here, and I think I want that a bit brighter. Alright. Right, let me see. A little bit more orange in it. Just to help the transition down into the bottom of it here. And then I will actually lighten up the base of it a bit more. Just let that work in. Nice and green, folks. That's what I'm after. A nice and green sky this evening. Late dusk. That type of thing. Now, that's a bit too much. It was a bit much. It was a bit too much. Alright, there we go. Now, I'll add a little bit of white up near the top here. Let me see, is it too saturated? I'm going to up the thing here. Not at the minute, no, it's fine. No, it's a nice grey-green. So I'm going to add a little bit of white up at the top of it here, is where it's shining through, where the light is. Alright, okay, now just work that through. Let me see, the light is off a bit here today. I think I could do with a bit of a more of an orange in it. I want this to be a very apparent sunset. Nice red, orange here. Nice rich color. Alright, okay. And just work that in. There we go. I want to, before this tacks up, I want to just stipple the edges of this here. Just soften that in. Just before it It might have tacked up a little bit on me. So I'm just gently blending this through. There we go. That should give us a nice green sky. Okay. Back to the purple. Back to the violet color here. Let's see what we can do. Bit too dark for the moment. A little bit of red in it. And a bit more. Make it a pinky violet. Okay, let me just try and figure out what I'm doing here, folks. Now we're getting there, creating a nice transition here. So I'm going to just work this orange into the green here, nice and gently. There's no need, and I'm stippling it in. I'm not. I will blend it, but at the minute I'm just stippling it in. There's a gentle blend, the gentlest of blend. Alrighty, and I'll do the same with a different brush, with the clouds here. Just coming in around the edges, just knocking those edges back a bit, softening the whole thing up. I don't want no harsh lights here at the minute, so I don't. Okay, so now I want a smaller brush. Let me see about this. And I just want to create some purples for the sky here. Okay, I'll just create, this is for the trees, this area up in here. I just want this to be a purplish, coolish color. And I think there's a bit too much on the brush, because I just want to stain the canvas here. I want it to, I want this to be able to blend in a little bit as I'm working it. Okay, now I'm going to need it to be a bit darker in certain areas, of course. Okay, something smaller. Excuse me. Okay, something a little bit smaller. That's a bit better. Just soften these edges a touch now. Okay. A little bit of lamp black, a little bit of transparent oxide red, and some ultramarine blue. Now I'm just going to work this part of it in, and then I can come back in a wee short period of time and remove a lot of this and put the sky in behind the tree. And I've already created my nice soft edge here. Now I'm just going to create a little bit of a tree thing going there, okay? Right, okay. I'm going to work on the back here. I'll work on this here. Nice and fast today, folks. Hopefully I can get this finished in under an hour for you. And I like doing fast pieces occasionally, you know. It's quite relaxing to do a nice fast paced one. That's all it is. So, alright, let me see now. I'm gonna work on these grasses here. So a nice orangey distance grass here. So in order to get orange, it's red and yellow, and then I'm going to knock it back with some raw umber. Nice and bright too. And I want you to be able to see this in the distance, just up here. Or not too bright, I suppose, you know, but I think that is too bright. It is too bright. So I'm just going to knock it back a little bit. Let me just take that out. There we go. Now, I believe that this is the right tone. There you are. It's a nice tone. Just cutting off that hedgerow there, just letting us see where the base is. I'll come along and darken that up momentarily. Now I'm going to be using some of this throughout the painting here, just over here. See how dry this is now down here? Because I use so much spirits. That really helps. Keep that in mind, folks. That spirits. I need a different brush. The white spirits can help you come along a wee bit later and put things on. My mind's a bit dippy tonight. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, right, a little bit of cerulean blue. I won't try and concentrate here. A little bit of cerulean blue, some little bit of spirits just to get it moving, and the cerulean blue is to create a nice cool green in here. Okay, that's it. It's a bit better now. Sometimes it's just hard to think, folks, isn't it? Just thinking on itself. Okay. There we go. That creates that nice difference there. I've got my wee dog out the back. It's not my wee dog, it's the next door neighbour's dog. Out the back, telling me that he's there, that's all. Yeah, just letting me know that he's there. Let me see, I just roll on some darks here. I'll maybe go out and talk to him for a wee while in a moment or two. Let me see now. I want this to come up into here a bit more, so I do. So I'm just creating the edges for it. And come back a bit here too. I'm going to wipe some of that out. In fact, no, I'm not. No, that's handy actually. That's a good thought process. I'm just going to create the reflection of the tree. I'm going to use this as the water. Okay. That'll do. Now, for that. Now, I want to get myself some of this. going to create some spaces in here for myself. Ba-da-da-dum. And I'll just be filling this area in with some branches and trees and skies and so on and so on. Right, I'll get on it now actually, just while I'm here. So some orange, nice orange, deep orange to go in behind that tree. Let me see now, in here, a nice deep orange. Oops. Now I'm behind the sky, or I'm this part in that green here, just up in here, just to help it fit in a bit better. Okay, let's cut some of it in here. Alright, now let's do this. Just softening those edges up. Oh. And that's a little bit much, but there we go. Now, so I'm going to put in the tree trunks here. Bada boom, bada boom. Bada boom, bada boom. Alright. Nice and dark, because we're being silhouetted here, right directly behind this sky here. So I'm gonna see now as I come up further, I'm purposely not going up this high. As I'm coming up further, I will be lightening the tree trunks. There we go. No, a little bit later, not much, but just a little bit, just to help that transition up into this area here. A bit more spirits there. Let me see, I'm just working now. Oh, that's a bit dark, a bit dark. Okay, so all I want to do is, with a bit of a darker brush, just come in and put in a nice canopy here and there. So let's get that done. A little bit of a violet I'm going for here. and when I knock it back with what's on the palette, it's still going to be a nice strong each valid. So let's see. Now, trying to stay away from those light sources that I put in. Not always entirely possible, because you just see the way it organically grows, but just trying to stay away from them. Now those, you might think, well, what did you go ahead and put those trunks in for? They give you a framework to work from. That would be the best way to put it. Whenever you put them in, you can see where you want your canopies to go, where you want this to go and that to go, and so on and so on. Now, hopefully you can see this slowly developing into a nice tree off onto the distance here. Now I need to work this area of it here a little bit too many things peeking through here. Just a bit too much. Okay, now I'm going to bring it in a little bit further here. So what did I do with my brush? There it is. Now, I'm just going to bring this in here. And then I will blend this in a little bit. Just softening the edges of that. And now I'll put a branch up in there, a nice dark silhouetted branch up in there. Now I've set my, there it is. Okay, so a nice darkish, thick one here. Actually, you know what? I will do that, but first I'll put in the later part of this here. So I have things to do first before I go ahead and do that. So now, how to put this in? Right, now where's my brushes? Right. Or really bright yellow in here. Right, I'd say just at the water here, right here. Nice and bright. And a fair bit on it too, nice and thick. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just gently, very, very gently, with a small brush, just gently stipple this. I'm not trying to blend it in, just trying to take a slight edge off it. Okay. And then I come in with some whiter colors. I think what I will do here is I'll come in with almost a pure white. Okay, right in the center there. Nice ball of it right in the center there, and then just eke it out here and there. Alright folks, I had a wee bit of a coughing fit there, and then I realised that I hadn't actually restarted the video. I think that was the reason yeah. Anyway, I'm down now here in the water. I didn't really, not much happened. All I did was add a little bit more weight to this here and a little bit more clouds to this, and then a tiny bit more to the water. So I honestly don't think you missed too much. Okay. I hope you didn't miss too much. I don't think you did. I really don't think you did miss very much. Alright. What am I doing? Let's work on this orange here for the water. Alright. A nice deep orange. It's going to be a little bit darker. Maybe not as dark as that. It's going to be a little bit darker than the sky, but just a bit. So let me see. Let me just work this in a bit. Okay. So let me see what I am doing here. Just bringing this up into here, folks. Trying to create a little river up. Just a little stream of water, not a river, just a little swale of water, as it were. You see now? So let me just work on this. And that'll help create some shapes. Let's blend that in a little bit. There we go. Now, a lot of this here is going to be brightened up with the reflection of the sun here. So I'm just going to knock it back a little bit. Blend it. Just stipple it a little bit. And then bring that down into the water here. I want a nice gradation here. There we go. Oop. There we go. We'll deal with that. Okay. Now. Where is my brush? Where is my brush? So here, just bringing this in. All I'm doing is placing it for the time being, that's all. Right, now I'm just going to work that in. And it will all but disappear. Okay. I want the surrounding water to be a bit brighter than what I have put down, so I'm just going to brighten it up a bit. I'm going to just mess around with these edges here. I just blur these in. That looked like that's the reflection of the tree there. Which it is actually, that's what it's meant to be. Okay. A little bit more variability on it. You know what I mean. Okay, now I want to just get these areas in here fixed, get the grasses fixed, and then I'm going to finish off that reflection, and that should be close to done. Okay, so let me get the right brushes here for myself. Let's get this area up here fixed. Some nice darks in here. Okay, coolers as well. There we go. Let's just shape this in here. That's better. Now, you see what I see here? See that straight line right across the hedge there? I'm not having that. Not at all. No, that wasn't right. There we go. Just knocking it back a bit. So if you can, just keep your mind on that, folks. It's very easy to order things when you're moving along doing this. Very, very easy to actually order it. Easier than you would think. So I want to come down into the water here. Just creating a nicer, just creating some enough paint on the canvas here so that I can just drag myself down into this. Alright, now let's just create some shapes up and around here. And some over here. And then I'll get this grasses over here done. And then we will see where we are. So let me get a nice brush for that. Just a beat up old brush. Let's get the grasses in the front here done. Just using what's already on the palette. Graying it out a little bit, but keeping it relatively bright. And there we're just going to roll this on this time, folks. Look at that. That's perfect. Not just doing it rightly. Nice and rough, folks. Don't be afraid to do that now. Okay, I'll tell you what, I will up the contrast a bit here so you can see what's going on. Okay, now just covering the canvas up here. Now I want to get myself up into this area here with a nice cool green. Oh, a bit too cold, I think. A bit too cold. Alright, it's going up into there now. And then I will want to put on some... Oh, I need to change the brush. I want to put on some grasses, some reddish grasses in another place. I'm just looking for another brush. Okay, some nice red orangey grasses here. Okay, let me see, is that too bright? It might be a bit bright. Just around the edges here, folks. Now, a couple of more things to do if I want to add some detail to this. But it's not much. Just want to brighten this area up a bit here. And then I want to darken the tree line down a bit. Just drop this down again to kind of more what I see, a nice dark sunrise. Our sunset, sorry. Okay, so I'll straighten this up a bit here. A bit too bright. Let me just knock this back a fair bit. Take that off my finger and have another go. There we go. Okay. 999. Now I just want to the base on the base of this here. I just want to make it a bit darker. Base of this hedgeroom here. Keeping it relatively lighter at the top of it. And that's where it's getting hit with the light. Alright, let me see. Now what's left? I think the only thing that is really left here is to brighten up that water. So where's my wee, there it is there. And my wee round brush. This is going to be, apart from a little bit of liquid, this is pure white I'm putting in, and I'm just going to be dropping it in. Alright, let me see, and let me see. Yeah, you know what? I think that I'm all but done here. A little bit of yellow in this white. Just come up here, just. Alright. Just want to work this in a little bit more. In here. There we go. Right. I don't know how long this has been. I think it's been close to an hour maybe. I don't know, but anyway. Hopefully you can come in from work one day and have a go. I'll tell you what, I'm not quite finished yet. What I'll do is I'll just add a few water things. That's all. As you see this here, nice wee silhouette just coming up right into it. See it? There we go. A few more here and there. And then a few more up into this area. There we go. And then just to get another wee one up in here. There we go. I'll just come off that a little bit. Okay. I believe I'm going to call that one a day. Alright, folks. Very well. Oh, let me just, before I do, this is a new thing I'm starting here. I'm just going to do a wee reveal by taking the tape off. Alright. Should I have some music going on here? Okay. That's the finished piece there. That'll look nice in a frame. Little 10 by 8 finished piece. We'll put a nice light on it here. A nice kind of a spotlight on it here. It'll help the sky shine. And put it in a nice frame. That would be, yeah, that'll be good. Put on a nice, as I say, if you get yourself a nice 4000 Kelvin, nice warmish light, just to pop, and then it will make everything shine. It'll make the top of the painting nice and bright, and the light will fall away and darken the bottom, or help darken the bottom of the painting a little bit. But anyway, that's that for now, folks. Okay? All the best, and thanks for watching.